I'm going to tell you right now, this collection of music for the 37th episode of the Overlooked Tracks podcast is the most difficult episode. And I know for sure there will be some of the greats in blues music that will be left out of this list of blues music for the podcast. After juggling for weeks on what to do with the selection, it was decided the best way to display this fine music genre is to give a sample of what blues is today. The foundation of great sound and again a portion of where blues music is heading. If these picks are any indication of the future of blues music, the music genre is in good hands. Once again, this selection is not a list of the greatest of all time, which is so impossible to do. But we are just going to display a small sample of sound we believe you should get some interest in and see where the rabbit hole can take you. The great sounds like John Lee Hooker, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Clapton, Buddy Guy, B.B. King, and of course many more music artists and creators that would never be disrespected. Only praised for what they have given to the world. Great blues music. We will start the 37th episode of the Overlooked Tracks podcast with one of the originators of the music genre in Robert Johnson. Hopefully we have some younger listeners listening to the podcast, and if you're one of them, just Google Robert Johnson blues music. Again, let's get started with Robert Johnson and the blues classic Kind-Hearted Woman Blues. Here on the 37th episode of the Overlooked Tracks podcast with your host, Kenny Sheba.
For me, I got a kind-hearted woman, anything that's worth for me. Let's see these hearted women, and they will not let me be. Love me. I love my baby. My baby don't love me. And I really love that woman. Can't stand to leave her be. But the one thing makes Mr. Johnson drink. I swear about how you treat me, baby. I begin to think, oh, baby, my life don't feel the same. It breaks my heart when you call Mr. So-and-so's name.
for dying, there's a darn good reason why a woman starts crying. A reason for a mole, a reason for a dimple, but there ain't no reason why a man so simple.
Shout, sister, shout.
Yeah!
Shout, sister, shout.
I'm telling you.
Shout, sister, shout.
Yeah!
The whole world what it's all about.
Now there's a way to be brilliant, a way to be a fool. There's a way to get to heaven, observe the golden rule. A way to get a sweetheart, a way to get a wife. And the day you quit me, brother, that's the way you lose your life.
Shout, sister, shout.
Yeah!
Shout, sister, shout.
Oh, boy!
Shout, sister, shout.
Yeah!
The whole world what it's all about.
There's a reason for a mountain, a reason for a hill. There's a reason why a doctor gives a patient a pill. A reason for a dance, a reason to sing. But there ain't no reason why a band can't swing.
I can understand the birds and I can understand the bees. I can even understand why a rat eats cheese.
Well, I can understand my dog.
I can understand your cat.
Well, fill me full of rhythm. Can you understand that?
Yes. Shout, sister, shout.
Hallelujah.
Shout, sister, shout.
Hallelujah.
Shout, sister, shout.
Hallelujah.
Tell the whole world what it's all about.
I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna shout. I'm gonna shout it out and tell the world what it's all about.
Welcome again to the Overlooked Tracks podcast, and welcome to a form of shared music for all to experience something special. We're not trying to be the flashy music podcast many may temporarily enjoy. Our goal is to simply provide an experience you can use for the long term, to cherish quality music for years to come. My name is Kitty Sheba, your host to a podcast called Overlooked Tracks, a podcast to explore deeper into the world of music, a place where you can simply enjoy without outside influences. To enjoy great music, and the one great resource you have is with us, Overlooked Tracks, a source where you find music you might be overlooking. Sister Rosetta Tharpe started the first segment of the 37th episode of the Overlooked Tracks podcast with the track Shout, Sister, Shout. And I have two sets of years of when the song was released, 1939 and 10 years later in 1949. Either way, you need to have this track in your music collection. Sister Rosetta Tharpe gained fame in the 1930s with her gospel music releases, blending both her spiritual lyrics and her electric guitar sound. She is considered to this day the first known to merge gospel music roots to the rhythm and blues and rock and roll, and resulting in being called the original soul sister and the godmother of rock and roll. Because of her music genius during her time, Sister Rosetta inspired so many musicians, which included Little Richard, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Chuck Berry, and Elvis Presley. The first renowned blues maestro that started the episode was Robert Johnson, one of many blues artists from yesteryear and today, and is considered the master of the blues. The track you heard was called Kind-Hearted Woman Blues, created in March 1939. Though Robert Johnson died at such an early age of 27 in the early 20th century, he generated such great music of the blues and portrayed a piece of American history during that time, and it's still present today. Some of his accolades he received for his work includes a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, the Grammy Hall of Fame, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just to name a few. Listen up, folks. We have a quick announcement for you. The Overlooked Tracks podcast is hooked up with Apple Music, and we have a display of music from the artists we feature on the Overlooked Tracks podcast, along with other tracks they share to the world. Go to https://www.overlookedtracks.com/music-streaming. Each click for a music artist will send you to Apple Music to purchase their tracks. For each click, the Overlooked Tracks podcast may receive a commission for that possible purchase. So, it's a win-win. You support music artists and Overlooked Tracks, and we continue to grow and support more music at a global scale. We're staying focused on music you haven't noticed nor heard, so in other words, music you've been overlooking. Now for the segment of the episode, we're going to go to the homeland of Chicago, Illinois, USA, with 3 songs that thrived during this day and touches the heart and soul of the city of Chicago. These 3 songs are from my vinyl record collection that took a bit of digging through the bunch of boxes and crates of vinyl records along with digitizing the songs to be added to the episode. Truthfully, it was exciting to have digitized the songs because I never did that before. But most of all, I hope you enjoyed these tracks from the Blues of Chicago. First up is the blues artist Luther Allison from the Wonderful Records label on the 8th of March 1967, and the song Gotta Move On Up is coming from the Sweet Home of Chicago album. How about we get started with Luther Allison with the song Gotta Move On Up. My name is Kenny Shiba, and again, here is Gotta Move On Up from Luther Allison here on the Overlooked Tracks podcast.
I'm moving on, trying to find a way. Got a whole piece of job, baby, but I'm being underpaid. I got to prove along. I can't go home. I'm moving on. Got no petrol. I gotta carry you people know. With no money in my pocket, baby, where in the world can I go? I got to move along. I can't go home. I'm moving on. All my life I've been crying with nowhere to go. Babe, I've been worried that you didn't love me, so I got to go home. I can't go wrong. I'm moving on. Bye bye, baby. Baby, so long. I know you're gonna miss me, yeah. Baby, when you're gone. Bye bye. Bye bye, bye bye, bye, baby. Sorry. You told me, baby, once upon a time, you said if I was yours, little girl, you would sure be mine, but that's alright. I know you're in love with some other man, but that's alright. Every now and then I wonder whose love man you tonight. You told me, baby, that your love for me was strong. I woke up this morning, and your big word was gone, but that's alright. I know you're in love with some other man, but that's alright. Every now and then I wonder whose love man you tonight. top. The people say you're gonna put the kid. Oh, look at what you do. You can call and what you want. I call and messing with the kid. You know the kid is no child, and I don't pay. I say what I mean what I say. But oh, yeah. Oh, look at what you do. You can call and what you want. I call and messing with the kid. Hey, look at here. Tell me a lot, but I love you, baby, till I do. But hello, oh, look at what you do. You can call and what you want. I call and messing with the kid. We're gonna take the kid's car and drive around town and tell everybody you're not putting him down. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at what you do. You can call and what you want. I call and messing with her. Yeah. Come on, baby.
You've heard 3 classic blues songs from some legendary artists you either heard about if you're a deep blues music enthusiast, or never heard of these tracks and your interest is larger than before. You can thank the Overlooked Tracks podcast for giving you that spark of the blues. The last track was from the Junior Wells Chicago Blues Band with the song Messin' with the Kid, coming from the Chicago The Blues Today album set Volume 1, distributed by Vanguard Records in 1965. The 2 previous songs came from the same album of Sweet Home Chicago from the Delmark Records label in 1969, and it took over 2 years to record the album, which was from February 1966 through July 1968. The song That's Alright was played by blues guitarist, bassist, producer, and singer Louis Myers. And the first blues track from this segment came from blues guitarist and singer Luther Allison with the song Gotta Move On Up. Again, it was interesting to digitize the songs from the records, but if and when you start playing the albums on the record player, listening to the music is like enjoying every moment of a nice and breezy Sunday afternoon, with the crackling of the recording on the non-stereo effect. Listening to music in this rare form is like no other way to listen to great music. Start your vinyl collection if you haven't done so already, and start your collection of the blues classics. To give further support of these music artists, find a good music portal to purchase their music and check their social media pages found by us by heading to our Twitter page, www.twitter.com/overlookedtracks, OVERLOOKEDTRAX. Because whenever we publish an episode, we also publish their Twitter handle, so you can connect with the artists and with Overlooked Tracks. Now you can listen to samples of tracks of artists being displayed only on the Overlooked Tracks podcast. Next up, we're moving forward a decade or two of the blues, starting with the legendary blues maestro that was among the great storytellers of blues and soul music. Listen up for this Bobby Blue Bland classic track released in 1974, and the song is called 24-Hour Blues, right here on this episode of the Overlooked Tracks podcast with your host, Kenny Sheba.
Every morning when I wake up, Lord, I cry a pool of tears. 7 days now since you left me. Well, it seems like 7 years. Loneliness keeps hanging around my door. An unwanted friend I can't lose. Every day is the same doggone thing, the 24-hour blues. Lonely minutes turn into hours. I keep waiting by the telephone, but you don't call me. I guess I'll be spending another sleepless night alone. I can't seem to get myself together. Without you, it's all bad news. Every day is the same doggone thing, the 24-hour blues. To lose, just these 4 gray walls, the 24-hour blues. I can't lose it. Every day is the same, the 24-hour blues. Every day, every morning, when I wake up, baby, don't let me sleep too late. Wake me up early, don't let me sleep too late. My baby needs some loving, no, you just can't wait. Oh, you tell me, baby, why you make me wait. Tell me, baby, why you make me wait. We can make a little loving before it gets too late. me sleep too late. Wake me up, baby. Don't let me sleep too late. My baby needs a little loving. No, she just can't wait. She just can't wait.
Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, a young man listens to the night. Way out here in the country, the moon and stars are the only light. He takes his rest when he can, because soon the morning comes and every day is like the last until it's done. His heart is open, big and wide, this old countryside, and we're up high where the eagle flies. That's where his spirit lies. He wants to run far as he can and hitch a ride or hop a train. Other places and other faces where nobody man, it's just a dream. Oh, he knows he's gotta stay. But even a poor boy's dream might come true one of these days. His heart is open, big and wide, like this old countryside. And way up high where the eagle flies, man, that's where his spirit lies. Oh, yeah.
If you have a track or two you want to drop and for me to play on Overlook Tracks, head over to the Overlook Tracks website, www.overlooktracks.com/contact. You can also reach us on Twitter using the Twitter handle Overlook Tracks, OverlookTracks, and on Instagram using the handle Overlook Tracks. Again, this is Overlook Tracks, where your music search has ended here. You just listened to the recent B.B. King Entertainer of the Year in Tommy Castro. His band called the Painkillers being selected for the Blues Band of the Year. And last to receive honors for the Album of the Year with the album Tommy Castro Presents A Blues Man Comes to Town during the 43rd Annual Blues Awards in Memphis, Tennessee, USA in May 2022. The track you jammed to is called Somewhere, released on the 17th of September 2021. A mission for Tommy Castro and the Painkillers is to try to keep the music fresh by taking different approaches in writing and recording different types of songs. Each and every moment, Tommy and the band try to stay authentic and remain true to themselves and their art the band creates. Before Tommy was Magic Slim and the Teardrops with their booty-shaking hit, Wake Me Early. This song reminds me so much of the time I was back in Chicago and enjoyed some homegrown blues at the Buddy Guy Legends establishment in downtown Chicago a few years back. And the musicians there were jamming that night. It was such a great experience, and I advise everyone to go to the Legends establishment and gain that experience because you will have such a great time while enjoying some great blues music. And the first artist that started this segment of the episode was the legendary bluesman Bobby Blue Bland with the track 24 Hour Blues. Let's keep the rhythm going with the worldly musician and Christina Vane. Being fluent in 4 languages and lived so much by the time she was 18 years old. Christina has simply done it, lived it, embraced it, and absolutely loved the art of music. And she continuously sharing her craft around the world. So I really think you need to know this music artist and add her music to your music collection. How about we continue this next segment of the sounds of Christina Vane and the track Make Myself Me Again, coming from the Make Myself Me Again album released on the 20th of May, 2022. My name is Kenny Sheba, and this is the Overlooked Tracks podcast. And the track coming up is Make Myself Me Again from Christina Vane.
Well, I hope you're eating right, that you sleep well at night. Forget those mistakes you made before. And it's been a long, long while, but I'd love to meet you now, somewhere across God's golden shore. Sometimes I lose, sometimes I win. I'm gonna make myself me again. I'm giving up on giving in. I'm gonna make myself me again. And I wipe my weary eyes. I'm cutting all these ties. Sometimes I work and I don't know what it's for. Gonna get some brand new wings, a pretty bird that sings. 'Cause sometimes I'm too tired to sing at all. Sometimes I lose, sometimes I win. I'm gonna make myself me again. I'm giving up on giving in. I'm gonna make myself me again. One time. soon you're through. Might be waking up love crazy fool. Detroit woman always on your mind, doing things you ain't never tried. Queen of the night, oh, and she better to the bone. Queen of the night, oh, gonna make you lose your mind. Casting spells with a black hair bomb. Witchy woman got a nation sacking hold. Breathing new life into your heartless soul. Doing things you ain't never been told. Shaking, penetrating. Oh, she's one of a kind. Yes, she is. Oh, yeah. Queen of the night. Oh, she's gonna make you lose your mind. Yes, she will. Oh, yes, she will. Oh, Queen of the night. I said, Queen of the night. Finest cherry wine. Queen of the night. Ooh, yeah. Gonna lose your mind.
The last track you heard is a ferocious demonstration of what Eliza Niels brings to the table, and the song is called Queen of the Nile 2, coming from the Battered to the Bone album released on the 23rd of April, 2022. The master voice Eliza displays will forever make you remember to listen to every song she shares to the music universe, and this Detroit, Michigan, USA blues artist is on the rise. So in other words, do not overlook this artist. Before Eliza is another award winner of the Blues Foundation Award for Best Traditional Blues Album in May 2022 in Memphis. And the award went to Sue Foley. The track played is called Pinky's Blues, and the song was played by her signature pink Paisley Fender Telecaster guitar. Sue Foley has been at her craft since the age of 13, and it took her all around the world displaying the fine art that she displays, and most importantly, make the guitar sing along with her voice to be as graceful as it can be. At the beginning of this segment, Christina Vane showed us her gift with her guitar and sound, and with the track called Make Myself Me Again. Well, folks, this is it for the episode, and hopefully the Overlooked Tracks podcast doesn't experience any technical difficulties called life and business that will get in the way and derail the sharing of sounds that you may have overlooked.